Hello, Taurus. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If Taurus is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Taurus, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we've got a Four of Swords to begin. This is a very calm card. I feel that you are somebody who, you try not to overreact. I feel like you are a very honest person. You always tell the truth. I feel like you can easily admit your mistakes. I feel like you generally trust people, or no, you don't trust them necessarily. You give them the benefit of the doubt until they prove otherwise. You give them a little bit of rope and you let them do what they're going to do, and then you can make your decisions and your assessments based on that. But you're a very loyal person. You are committed. You are supportive. You stand by your people, those people that you do trust and that you do love and that have sort of made their way into your inner circle. You're intensely loyal to them. Yeah. This card is sometimes about suspending judgment, right? Not engaging in a deliberation. It's sort of maybe a card of listening. Sometimes when we get the fours, any of the fours really, we start looking around for the five. We need some sort of decision to be made. We need some sort of, it's almost like this is someone who is just like too passive. This could be somebody who is sitting back on the sidelines a little bit too much, letting too many people get away with things, And it's kind of like, it's almost like Spirit saying, okay, you know what? Let's go. It's time to act. We need that five to sort of, to get the four moving. Okay? So yeah, you're giving someone the benefit of the doubt. You're trusting. You're trying to trust. You're giving people an opportunity. It might be time to sort of get up and start taking care of business. That maybe we've waited for too long. We've been a little bit too nice, a little bit too accepting, and maybe it's time for some decisions. Maybe it's time for some changes to take place. All right. We're going to put this card into some context, though. We're going to see what's going on around you and how this might sort of come about. Okay. Got the Hanged Man there. Okay. We've got Two of Pentacles, very good. Seven of Pentacles, yes. Six, all right. Six of Cups. And an Eight of Wands, very nice. A lot of speed here. Okay. The Hanged Man with the Four of Swords, this is a lot of passive energy right here. Okay. This is, it almost feels like this could be an acceptance that things are just not getting any better. And it's almost like we've sort of thrown in the towel. Maybe it's not you. Maybe it's somebody around you, somebody close to you, somebody involved in your life or involved in your work or your finances or someone in the home, something like that. But someone somewhere sort of has this energy like they've stopped trying, they've stopped fighting, they've thrown in the towel. Okay? And it's probably because of the Seven of Pentacles. It's because there was some endeavor, some enterprise that didn't work out. Okay? And then this is kind of saying, well, that didn't work. I guess it didn't work. That's it. That's it for me. I'll see ya. But then we've got this 2 of Pentacles and this 8 of Wands. It kind of says you haven't exhausted all of your options yet. You've still got more arrows in your quiver, right, to use. More tools in the toolbox here. You have more ideas that you could apply to this, you know. I don't think you're someone that gives up easily. But there is a limit to how, there is a point at which you will, you know, all of us. There is a point at which we will just say, I'm done, right? But we've got this 8 of Wands, 2 of Pentacles, suggesting that there are more things we could try. Okay, let's see. We've got now the Adjustment card. We've got a Princess of Wands. We've got a Knight of Cups, and we've got a 4 of Cups too. Okay, well, that wasn't the climax I was looking for, but it's okay. All right, because I think that this is, it is the need for movement. Okay, I think Spirit is saying that you've been maybe too focused on one particular thing, and I'm getting this sort of energy like, don't spend so much time on any one thing, but go after a lot of different things right now. Okay, it's kind of like when you're taking a test, you know, and the professor says, okay, just don't spend too much time on any one question. If you try to figure it out, if you don't get it, move on, because you're going to waste a lot of time on that one question when you could be putting effort into a lot of these other things and accomplishing them and getting that satisfaction, getting those achievements, reaching those goals. But we're spending too much time on one particular issue, maybe one particular business thing. If it's something financial, we're putting in a lot of effort in one spot. Because what we have with the 4s, of course, is the need for change. Right? Mentally, emotionally, we've got to get out of this box that we're in. And then we've got this very fast-moving fire energy. The 8 of Wands is a swiftness. The 8 of Wands is spreading out in every direction. It's saying, let's, take care of that problem, that problem, that problem, that problem. All these other problems that you could be tackling right now, don't waste your time on this one anymore. This one maybe, not worth the effort right now. Maybe if there's time, we can come back to this one, But this, and even the Princess of Wands, right, is very active, very, very sort of almost impulsive energy. The Princess of Wands is sort of going around setting these little fires everywhere. Just go ahead and we're just getting involved in a million different things. Usually not the energy we want. Usually we say, hey, let's just stay focused, let's prioritize, let's focus on one thing at a time, slow and steady. No, I feel like this is fast, okay? I feel like your success, if you want your success, it's got to be with this very fast-moving energy. A lot of changes happening very quickly. Start making a lot of moves. Start putting your efforts into a lot of different things. Not all eggs in one basket. Not all of your fiery energy in one problem or one, I don't know, let's say if you're starting your own business. You put all of your attention on one revenue stream, and that one fails or succeeds, okay. But if you have your efforts, if you diversify, that's the word I'm looking for. Diversify your vital energy. Diversify your attention. And maybe we are talking revenue here, right? Maybe we are talking with the earth energy. We're talking to diversify your revenue streams so that if one of them sort of, goes kaput, then you still have others that can pull the weight. Okay, but if you put all your attention, all your effort into one, I think that we are, maybe Hanged Man style, we're sort of at the mercy of that one thing. Okay, so the way forward is that 8 of Wands, that diversification. Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down right here with our very own sea turtle. to go right on top. We don't have a name for the sea turtle. I think it's a sea turtle. Help me pick a name, all right? And help me predict that card. Whatever you think it is, put it in the comments down below. We're not going to look at it until the end, but it will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation and conclusion that we need at the end of the reading, all right? Good opportunity to exercise our intuition. Let's look around the room here. Interested in what we see. We've got two major arcana energies, the Hanged Man and the Adjustment card. The Hanged Man to me just sort of feels like that, a little bit of that emotional indulgence where it's just like something doesn't work and it's this huge emotional, overwhelming emotional defeat. That it just feels that it's hopeless. It's absolutely, we're sinking down into the mud and there's nothing stopping it. It's just the absolute worst. And, I think that maybe in your life, in your business, whatever you're doing in life, whether this is career, school, maybe you're retired, it doesn't matter how old you are, whatever you're putting your effort into. I wonder if you're the type of person that when something goes wrong or there's a day where things are not working out very well, you tend to take it quite hard. I can't say I can't relate to that. Being a solar Cancer, I think, I think the water signs are very prone to that. But, I think Taurus, I think you're prone to that too. Okay? Because you have that very steady, committed energy. And then when something doesn't go right, there's a setback, there's a loss, there is, I don't want to use the big F word, right? But Seven of Pentacles, when there is a failure of something, right? You put all that effort into something and no fruit. Okay. I wonder if it really sets you back emotionally. If it really is, it sort of is a devastating thing. And I wonder if it kind of takes you a minute to recover from that. I tell you the truth. I have a bad day on the channel. If, the views are way down or there's a lot of comments, people don't like the readings or something, I take it hard. I get a little hanged man down in the pits of despair sometimes, right? We all do. We all do. And we have to be able to admit that. So we've got that Four of Swords that says, yeah, look, this is a recognition, listening to how I feel. It's okay to have that setback. It's okay to feel like, oh man, if I don't need to do this anymore, what if I should just give up? I should quit. I'm obviously terrible at it, It's okay to have those feelings and go through those thoughts. But the sooner we get back to business, the sooner we can continue making our progress. There will be low days. There will be days where you're down in the dumps. There will be a day where you got no customers. You're running a business and you didn't get a single phone call. Okay, it happens. There will be a day where a certain endeavor of yours, a certain thing that you've tried to do, I'm going for it, right? Maybe it doesn't work out. Maybe this is one business, but you've got several other ideas, several other options that you're good at. Maybe, to tell you the truth, I heard a podcast where Vince Vaughn was talking about this very thing, about he's trying to become an actor, or I don't know if he was doing stand-up or acting, whatever he was doing. I heard he's a fan of the show as well. So if you're listening, Vince, I'm going to use your story a little bit. When he was auditioning, he would put all of this effort into audition, same role, several auditions, and then a screen test, and then they would say, no, you're not the one, right? So he put in all that effort, all those same thing, going after one role. They kept asking him to come back to audition again and again and again, now finally screen test, and then they went in a different direction. And it feels like all of that effort we put into that particular endeavor was wasted. No energy is ever wasted, right? The universe has this way of recycling energy, of reclaiming energy in order for it to be, energy can't be created or destroyed, right? just transformed into other things. So if we look at that as a failure, I put in all that effort into something and then they went in a different direction, I'm just bummed out, I'm hanged man, I'm done, I'm quitting, I'm going to just stay in my room for a week, And that's Vince's story. He stayed in his bed, just in his room, depressed for a week, right? The idea here is that energy is not wasted because that energy was allowing him to gain experience. He just was able to sort of get more comfortable doing auditions, I guess, and come into a little bit more of his own, find his own voice a little bit more. It was a learning experience, all that stuff. But then also the realization that that week spent in isolation, or that week spent down in the dumps, as my parents used to say, my dad especially. All that time spent down in the dumps was time that you didn't spend trying other things, auditioning for other roles, getting back in the saddle, right? Spreading your energy out into different places, trying new things, learning, growing, practicing, getting better, improving, right? And going after these other great things. So that really is more a wasted energy than all the time you put into this. This wasn't a waste of energy at all. But the time that we spend in hanged man position, that sometimes feels more like a waste of energy. But one thing we know about the hanged man is that it's not a waste of energy either. Because we have to allow ourselves to feel that. We have to be honest with how we feel. We have to honor our feelings and our emotions, and we have to have that dialogue with ourselves, right? But the sooner we can get out of it and get back to work and get back to trying, then the better we're going to get, the faster we'll succeed. And I think with this Eight of Wands in your future position, you're going to succeed really quickly. You got to get back in the saddle, okay? Anyway, we were supposed to be talking about our major arcana. We've got the Libra energy over here too. And I think that is it's a higher discernment. It's sort of a card of judgment, of evaluation, of weighing the options, right? And in some ways, it's kind of saying, look, if I have a limited amount of time to do something, if I'm trying to do something quickly, right, then I better be very discerning about how and where and to what I devote my energy. So we're lingering so long here in this hanged man position. Let's evaluate that. Is this a good usage of my time and energy or not? Okay. Eight of Wands says, let's spread our energy out. If we have, a month, let's make every day count. Let's do an audition every day, or 2 auditions every day, or whatever. I don't know how it works. I've only been to Hollywood one time, and I didn't audition for anything. So we have to have that ability to go fast, to diversify our attention and our energy, but we have to have that higher discernment to know, if you got room for 8 things, those have to be the very best of the best 8 things. Okay? If you're going to go on 8 auditions in the next month or week or whatever, you got to make them the best or most likely, or the, whatever your criteria is. I don't know what your criteria is. I don't know what you're doing. But I do know that you want your 6 of Cups that's up here, right? We want that harmony. We want that pleasure. We want the success of achieving this. Didn't get that back here. Certainly not going to get that in hanged man position. The only way we're going to have that success is if we get back to work as fast as possible. The quicker we get started doing more things, several things at once, right? And maybe this isn't acting for you. It doesn't have to be, your story doesn't have to be the same as Vince's story, right? But the points, the key message of that story, I think, is applicable to all of us, right? So we've got our major arcana, we've got fire, we've got some water, right? We've got some air, and we've got some earth cards. And I think really it's it's kind of the fire and the water that's connected here. It's kind of saying if you want that satisfaction, if you want that 6 of Cups, that wonderful pleasure, the best day of your life, that satisfaction, that feeling of euphoria when something works, when you get the job, you get the role, right? When you make the sale, when you have a video on YouTube that seems to really be taking off, people like it. You did like for me, I get that feeling once in a while, where it's like, wow, people really, really do like this reading, and I really was connecting with people. It felt good to do it, and it's being received very well, and this is like, it's nice, If we want that, we've got to have this fire energy. You need the fire to get the water. That's, the water here in the Hanged Man, very watery card. That's not the same as the 6 of Cups, right? All water is not equal, is the deal here. The two of Pentacles underneath the surface, it's your realization that, one, this situation has to change, that you cannot find happiness and success in this situation, so that needs to change. But also the 2 of Pentacles is saying that 7 of Pentacles didn't work. It was the big F word, right? Let's pivot. Let's try again. Let's do something else. Action. You got to get your feet moving, The F Word, also a very good show with Gordon Ramsay. One of his first television programs, The F Word. Wonderful show. But from a long time ago, I guess. But the idea is if you make a crappy dish, if you cook something and it's disgusting, you burn it, you follow the recipe but it didn't work out, whatever. We can lament that, we can feel how we feel about that, but we got to keep moving. Okay? We've got to do something productive and proactive. And yes, feeling how we feel and processing those feelings and thinking about those feelings is good, but not if it turns into rumination. Thankfully, we don't have an 8 of Swords or an 8 of Cups, because that's rumination, right? That is us we keep thinking about the same situation again, and we're sinking deeper and deeper and deeper into that Hanged Man position. The 8 of Wands, however, is a creative sort of problem solving. It's a little bit of rumination, but it's proactive. It's not so much internal heart and mind stuff. It's using the fire and hunger in our belly to go out and do things again, to keep trying. Maybe this wasn't it. Maybe this wasn't the venue. Maybe this isn't the genre, or that's not the publisher to take your story or your book or whatever. Send it out to a dozen more publishers. Take your demo tape to 50 more, record companies or producers or club owners that might, be able to give you a gig or something, or let your band play there, or whatever it is. I don't know what you're doing, right? Maybe you're looking for a job. Maybe you are trying to find, what you're good at and where you really want to make a career, right? What kind of life, what kind of activities are going to give you that 6 of Cups happiness? Maybe you're retired. This doesn't have to be about work. It doesn't really have to be about money at all. It's about that 6 of Cups, that satisfaction. That is success. You can get all the money in the world, but if you don't have the 6 of Cups, it doesn't feel like anything. It doesn't feel like success, right? So we've got to diversify. We've got to get creative. We've got to be proactive. We've got to talk about the path of the serpent. As we do this, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. It doesn't cost anything. Supports the channel. I have another channel, Dove and Serpent Bedtime Stories. Go check that out if you want to. We know about the Adjustment card, or Justice, the Libra energy. It is your higher discernment. It's your ability to evaluate in real time. It's about you able to make real-time, quick decisions on the fly, right? It's sort of like you're running forward, and as you're running, you've got to decide: do I I got to duck from that tree. I got to jump over the puddle. I've got to go around the dog, right, or whatever. You got to make those decisions on, do you jump over the dog or do you go around the dog, right? You've got to be able to make those evaluations in real time. And it's just kind of saying, okay, I've got 10 hours today that I can work or go out and do something or apply myself, right? And you've got to be able to manage your time well. So this is time management, but it's attention management, it's energy management, resource management, right? And this is your general energy right now. So you're in this mode. I don't think I'm telling you anything you don't know. Okay? I'm just pointing out energy that's already there. Okay. So, Princess of Wands, we usually say the Princess of Wands is a little too impulsive, is just out there sort of dabbling in other things and just kind of causing mischief and just getting too many projects. The Princess of Wands is the one who has all these little piles of stuff around the house. It's kind of like my 4-year-old. She will go from one part of the house to another part of the house, and she'll get some toys out. She'll play with some toys over here, and then she'll leave that pile there. She'll go over to the other side of the living room. She'll start playing with Play-Doh or something. A few minutes, she has fun. She leaves that there, and she goes to a different section of the house. And then she maybe gets out some dollies or gets out some clothes or whatever it is, her pretend kitchen. And so these little messes everywhere, because it's a lot of fleeting interests. For 10 minutes she likes this, and it's fun, she enjoys it, and then she moves on to something else, leaving that stuff there. So the Princess of Wands is sort of like that, but it's somebody who has, let's say, 10 ideas. They'll do a little bit of work getting started in each one of those, but not enough focus to get any one of those done. It's like you're trying to audition for 10 different movie roles, and so you're trying to sort of learn 10 different characters, but it's not enough time or attention devoted to any one of those characters to really lock in and be able to do a good audition, right? So sometimes this card is saying, look, you need to narrow it down, focus on one or two things, get really good at them, okay? With that Eight of Wands, though, this is kind of the idea of let's diversify. Let's try to do as many different things as we can right now. Okay, so in this case, we sort of need that impulsive Princess of Wands. Okay, Spirit's saying don't focus too much of your time on any one particular thing right now. Experiment, branch out, diversify. See what's really going to work and use your higher discernment to see what maybe, okay, I'll focus a little bit more on that. That seems very promising. I still have these other things over here that I'm slowly working on that they're going to need some attention at some point too. And that's where we have to be able to time management and multitask and be able to switch gears very quickly. And I think you're somebody that can do that very well. I don't think you've always been able to do that. I don't feel like, Taurus, you're someone who very easily switches gears. You're like a big tanker on the ocean. To turn that tanker in a different direction, it takes a lot. Reminds me of that show, Succession, right? Where Brian Cox says, I'm trying to turn an effing tanker, and it takes a lot to transition from one sort of way of doing things to another, or from one activity to another activity. It's a skill that we sort of have to learn, especially right now for you. I don't know what you're doing, but that seems to be a necessary skill. Okay, you're in the kitchen. You got you got your water boiling over here. You're cooking pasta, but you're also frying some vegetables or whatever, right? You're baking a cake in the oven. Different things take different amounts of time, different levels of heat, right? And you have to be able to, saute your vegetables over here, but then you got to make sure you're checking the cake, and you're doing a lot of things at once. And those things are asking different levels of concentration from you. Does that make sense? So anyway, that's the fire energy that we need. And that's how it feels that way to me. In a way, too, I think Spirit's kind of saying, like, take your mind off the bigger picture and just focus on all these little things that we need to do. Don't think of the big final meal. Just focus on what you got in the pans, what you got in the oven, and what you got boiling over here. And just stay present and stay focused on all of these different things that need your attention, rather than trying to just sort of step back and look at the bigger picture. Right? Now's not the time for that. Right? Now's the time to double down on the present moment. Now we got the Knight of Cups in the position of the obstacle, and it's really just about this Hanged Man, getting out of that Hanged Man period and getting back to following your passion. Whatever it is that you're doing, whatever you're trying to do in life, there's a sense of purpose there. Okay? The Hanged Man is sort of in need of the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is looking at the future. The Knight of Cups is looking at the future of your emotional state, right? Looking at that bigger picture and thinking that's going to feel so good. And in a way, I know I just said that we don't do that, but that's why this card's in the difficult position, right? When we're over here, I kind of feel like that's when we need this card. Because when we're in this Hanged Man position, what we really need is to see the future again. See that this is going to be a reality for you, that your success is there, that your 10 of Cups is out there for you. And that gives us some inspiration. It sort of wakes our fire up again, makes us hungry again. It's somebody they know that they've got all this work in the kitchen to do. Just think about the meal at the end. Think about how everybody's going to love the food and everyone's going to be sitting together and having a great time, and everyone's going to be so amazed at your skills. And think about how good that's going to feel to get you motivated to get in the kitchen. Now it's like, yes, all right, now I can't wait. Now I'm going to get in the kitchen, I'm going to do it. But then once we're doing it, this card kind of becomes the obstacle, that we're going to be so focused on our future state of things that when we look around and see the mess that we're in now, kind of feels like we're never going to get that. Okay? So I feel that we have to sort of fortify ourselves. 4 of Cups here at the end. And what I was going to say about the 4 of Swords too is that we eventually have to turn off the inner dialogue. If we're ruminating on these emotions and we're down in this Hanged Man energy, eventually we just have to stop having that conversation with ourselves. And we have to just switch into go mode, right? And the same thing with the 4 of Cups, that sometimes we just have to pull ourselves out of that feeling state, that we have to just sort of fortify our hearts and say, okay, I'm going to get back out there. I'm going to sort of harden my heart a little bit. I'm going to steel myself against getting my feelings hurt. You've got to be able to handle, the casting director saying, no, sorry, you didn't get it, It's, it's somebody who is trying to be a stand-up comic, right? Another one of my it was one of my, my dreams or aspirations, be a stand-up comic. Although I don't think I'm very funny. But you have to be able to get up on stage and not get totally crushed when you bomb. Not get totally crushed by those 7 of Pentacles cards when they come out. Okay? It's kind of like, in a way, we sublimate that crushed feeling. All those emotions that we have, instead of despair, Hanged Man, I'm not doing anything productive for a whole week. I sit in my room, that we're sort of using that as fuel to keep going, to do it again the next night, sublimating those negative emotions. But there comes a time where the sublimation doesn't quite work, and what we have to do is not take it personally. Understand that bombing, getting heckled, being crushed on stage is part of the process. It's part of this pressure cooker sort of experience that you're in, where you are refining yourself and you're finding your voice and you're finding your success. Okay? I think success is on its way to you. I think that Six of Cups is here. We've just got to go. We've just got to start applying ourselves and not delaying, not wasting any time. Feel how you feel, yes. Honor how you feel. That's a big part of the process too, is to feel these things, right? Get back on the horse, get back in the saddle as soon as you can. Let's look at the mystery card. I want to see obviously a Ten of Cups. I want to see a Ten of Pentacles. Yeah. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Let's see what we have. The Lovers. The Lovers, I think, is really your inspiration. I think the Lovers card is the confirmation that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. If this is you acting and you're auditioning for different things, or you're trying to be that stand-up comic, the Lovers card coming out is saying, this is who you are. You're following your true path here, okay? And with that comes a lot of hardship, a lot of struggle, a lot of refinement, a lot of pressure cooker situations where you're going to feel the heat. You're going to feel the pressure. You're going to feel the weight of it. It's a crushing weight. But sometimes we need the fours to just kind of fortify ourselves against that, right? The Four of Swords and Four of Cups, heart and mind, right? A stable, structured, fortified heart and mind that isn't going to be crushed by the weight, not letting any of that negativity in, right? The Lover's card, yeah, really nice. The inspiration comes from knowing that this is your destiny, that this is your fate. This feels like a prophecy, okay? And the fulfillment of any prophecy is a story of hardship and struggle and doubt, right? And sort of always, the hero is always on the verge of giving up. But they persist, right? And right now you're being told to persist faster, right? I think you're really going to get there. I really do. We're going to get to the extended reading. If you want to stick around for that, there's a link up in the corner. There's one down below. New readings for Taurus are on Mondays and Fridays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Subscribe to Dove and Serpent Bedtime Stories. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.